All right, the Director of Operations for Maintenance and Transportation Services, Vince Ferrazza, is giving us an update on preparations ahead of this major winter storm moving through.
Challenging, tricky storms that we've had to deal with because of the event that it turns over from rain to freezing rain so quickly. So one of the things that we're doing in preparation is we're actually now going to be taking some of our equipment and parking them at various locations across the city. We call that loaded standby, where in essence you already have the vehicles close to their routes so that it minimizes the downtime from driving to a yard such as this to ultimately their routes. The weather is going to change extremely quickly. There's going to be high winds, so we have to try to get on top of it as quickly as we can. So that's where we're going to be, as I said, parking vehicles and equipment at very strategic spots across the city. These will be first our salters. We're expecting the rain to turn over to freezing rain very quickly, and we're going to have to salt as quickly as we can. We will then be hopefully given an opportunity to salt a few rounds, so that creates a base, and as a result you won't have as high accumulation. But in the event that the snow comes just shortly thereafter, we will be plowing. And as I've mentioned before, we now have equipment that can do both, can both plow and salt. So they're called combination units. They have a blade in the front and a salting apparatus in the back. This allows the driver to quickly transition to plowing while they've been salting. But at the same time, they continue to salt. It's a dual operation. Having said that, the plows that we exclusively have across the city will then be deployed. But this will likely be one of our most tricky, challenging situations that we've experienced because of the weather being so unpredictable. And of course, along with that come high winds. So that's what we're planning on doing throughout all day Friday and going into Saturday. We're anticipating in some parts of the city higher snow accumulation. If we get the snow accumulation, we will be plowing. In the inner city of Toronto, we're expecting about 5 to 10 centimeters. That will warrant our snow plowing operations on the expressway or the arterial roads. And once we get to 8 centimeters in the suburbs, so to speak, Etobicoke, North York, Scarborough, we'll have to plow the local roads as well. The other thing I just want to stress is that because it's going to be freezing rain and ice pellets coming so quickly, we will be activating all of the equipment on all of the infrastructure. Okay, so you're looking at all of the roads, the expressways, arterials, collector, and local roads all getting treatment. And also with that, the sidewalks, the bicycle lanes, and the bus stops. So due to the severity of this event, all of the infrastructure will be receiving the services and treatment shortly within a few hours or so. Okay, so that's our operations for winter maintenance. I'll just take any questions, or if you have any questions for Alex with respect to what the other divisions are doing to prepare for the winter event.
So if you could speak to that, then how the divisions are going to break that down.
Sure, of course. So transportation services is obviously one of the most crucial pieces of our response, but our Office of Emergency Management has convened a incident management team. So that assembles representatives from each division, as well as our emergency responder partners and our utility partners. It gets everyone in one room cooperating on response. So they are responsible for monitoring right now and making sure that everyone is aligned. So that includes forestry with expecting winds. We can see some downed branches, some downed trees. So they have crews at the ready, and that's the same for every division across the city.
What should people do when there are downed branches and trees possibly?
Yeah, anytime there's downed branches or trees, the best thing to do is call 311. Forestry does prioritize their responses, so they're looking first at anything that's a danger, anything they have to do to help Toronto Hydro restore power where it may have affected a power line, and then we'll get to those smaller downed branches across your neighborhoods as soon as we can.
Can you remind us about the power lines as well, what people should do?
Absolutely. A bit more for Toronto Hydro, but never go near a downed power line. If you do think that there is an imminent threat, call 911. If not, you can call Toronto Hydro. Their number is on their website. And for any downed branches, you can, of course, go back to 311.
We're coming into the holidays and a lot of people taking time off. Can either of you speak about just sort of the challenges with staffing a storm like this when people obviously want to spend time with family and friends?
Certainly. So for winter maintenance, all of the crews will be prepared. They're all ready and they'll be activated. So all the drivers, all the operators are in and will be servicing the roads. We have crews on standby. So in essence, they are living on these winter depots. They are prepared to go at any moment's notice. In addition to that, we also have crews on a call-in basis, and they are within a few hours away from being activated as well. So all of our contractors' crews are here, ready to go. City crews, which also operate our sidewalk machines, are also prepared. They have been scheduled to come in on Friday and Saturday as well. And my sense is that this will continue with a cleanup throughout the weekend, Sunday and into the week. So while it is a holiday season and it is difficult to get people to come, but nevertheless, I'm confident that we are prepared from a staffing perspective.
What are you most concerned about in terms of the weather system? Is it the ice? Is it the snow? Is it the winds? What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge for you?
I think it's going to be a combination of all three, really. I mean, the ice is going to be very challenging for us because we need to get that opportunity to put some salt down so that the roads don't become extremely dangerous. And that's a challenge when the rain changes over to freezing rain so quickly. That's why we are parking equipment at various strategic locations across the city so we can get there quickly. When it transitions to snow, actually that poses less of a challenge because of the fact that the equipment can push the snow aside and the snow is essentially melted through the activation of the salt. So I'd have to say the fact that it's the ice, the freezing rain, the ice pellets, and also the wind. It's going to be very high winds. And that will also play a challenge for us in laying down the salt. So it's a combination of all three, but the icy conditions will certainly be probably one of our biggest challenge.
Okay, we've been listening to Vince Ferrazza from the city, sort of outlining the sort of city's strategic plan to sort of tackle the storm that's on the way here over the next 24 to 48 hours.